edition of our weekly news roundup, read to you by Ruth, and first the headlines. Activists and organizations call for action towards averting the situation of Ugandan LGBTI refugees in Kenya. Cameroonian journalist and celebrated human rights activist Joel Nana passes on. The news in detail. On the 1st of October, the Swedish Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that Ugandan human rights activist Kasha Jacqueline was among the 4 persons to receive the 2015 Rights Livelihood Award, commonly referred to as Alternative Nobel Prize. Kasha is now using this opportunity to highlight the urgent issue of immigration of refugees around the world, with special interest on lesbians, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex refugees. The renowned feminist and human rights activist has called for the worldwide fundraiser for LGBTI refugees in Kenya to coincide with receiving her Rights Livelihood Award on the 30th of November. She appealed to all persons to join in and set up fundraiser events in their areas to help raise funds for this great cause. On the same issue, a youth organization, Youth Uplift Uganda, has also put together an event, Prom Night Party, to help raise financial support for Ugandan LGBTI refugees in Kenya. The event, which is also meant to empower all those who have been forced to flee Uganda because of their gender identity or sexual orientation, will be held on the 5th of December 2015. All proceeds received from these events will be divided and distributed to both the Uganda LGBTI community at the grassroots level and those in the Kenya refugee camp. Cameroonian journalist and celebrated human rights activist Joel Nana passes on. The human rights community has this Friday morning woken up to the sad and shocking news of the death of one of Africa's leading HIV and LGBTI rights activists. Joel Gustav Nana's human rights activism work was spread across Africa with emphasis on his native country, Cameroon, Nigeria, Senegal, and South Africa, among others. Joel Nana, as he was better known among his peers, is considered one of the people that opened the doors for MSM activism in Africa. He was the founding executive director of African Men for Sexual Health and Rights and led the coalition of LGBT/MSM organizations working to address the vulnerability of MSM to HIV. At the time of his death, Nana was the chief executive officer of Partners for Rights and Development, a consulting firm on human rights, development, and health in Africa. As we wind up this bulletin, Kuchu Times would like to thank everyone who has so generously donated to our campaign aimed at raising funds for the publication of the second issue of the Bombastic magazine. The campaign was intended to raise $5,000, went over and beyond. The second edition of the Bombastic magazine will be distributed in January 2016. We remind you to please continue to send in your stories to editor@kuchutimes.com or info@kuchutimes.com. You can also suggest a topic of your own choice, as long as it is related to perspectives of the LGBTI people. Thank you for staying with us and have a good week.